63 holes of golf last week. Treats me every day. I was a tyrant treats me every day.
I'd like to call the regular Board of Education meeting of June 29th, 2022 to order. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Dan Schroeder.
Here.
Mrs. Kratzer.
Here.
Mr. Mason.
Yes, here.
And Mr. Mendoza.
Here.
Ms. Whitmer.
Here.
Item 22-82 is recommended to approve the agenda as presented by the superintendent for the June 29th, 2022 regular Board of Education meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Kratzer.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mendoza. Roll call.
I'd just like to point out the additions that I emailed out last night that are on here that weren't in the original that was sent out. We have the certificate of estimated resources, treasurer's certificate of transition, and the contract with ESC. Mr. Dan Schroeder.
Yes.
Mrs. Kratzer.
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza.
Yes.
Ms. Whitmer.
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Item 22-83, it is recommended the Board of Education read, approve, and sign the minutes of that list of meetings as listed.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Dan Schroeder,
Second.
second by Ms. Whitmer. Questions or discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Kratzer.
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza.
Yes.
Ms. Whitmer.
Yes.
Mr. Dan Schroeder.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0. Reading of communications. Do you have anything, Mr. Thomas?
Nothing for me tonight.
I don't have anything either. Legislative report. Got anything, Denny?
We may be getting some support for an SRO. Governor DeWine has made a initial forwarded initial message to superintendents. We have no information what that means other than he is looking into the possibility. I'm assuming it would have to come from federal dollars, but he just highlighted that maybe last Thursday.
I read about it.
Yes.
Along those lines of an SRO, there's already, apart from that, some discussion through the county with some different agencies to get an SRO in the school with the grant that we got a few months ago. It's not a lot of money, but it would supply enough money to get someone trained to be an SRO. So that's moving forward, which is exciting. Any administrative reports? I don't think we have anyone. Board initiated business, Ms. Whitmer.
Just continued support from just everybody out with homecoming and everything. It's nice to see everybody and our department support and all that. I know it's not the school, but just nice that the community's still wild up and ready to go.
Yeah, good. Mr. Schroeder.
Well, I just want to say how I really feel sorry for whoever is the commencement speaker next year, because they got a really tough act to follow from this year. Jerry Ford was amazing.
Yeah.
I think the commencement ceremony itself was best I've seen. I've seen a lot of them, so wanted to say that. And also, I just wanted to mention, I had a request from a member of the Gibsonburg High School class of 1972. They are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, and they are getting together on September 9th. So we're going to try, or we're hoping to be able to arrange for them a tour of the high school building, because there's a football game that night, a a bunch of the classes that are going to be attending the football game, they'd like to tour the building. So I just wanted to get that on everybody's radar. If anyone would be interested in, coming along and showing people around, we're gonna try to get that done for them.
Great.
Okay, that's it.
Mr. Mendoza?
Just a couple things, maybe in the future, and I know this is a little unique, the time for this meeting, or maybe we can, are we able to set a date like early and let the public know versus, I mean, we knew, if you were here at the meeting, we knew when the meeting was gonna be, but it's probably 3 or 4 people contacted me and they're concerned about not knowing when the meeting was. They weren't here, maybe didn't see the minutes. I don't know if we can
Could be set,
we put that on like
could be
that?
set at the org meeting since we do it every year. Just a
Is
suggestion.
that something we can do that, so it's known ahead of time, or, that way we don't run into that problem again? Some people, I had about 3 or 4 who are concerned on it. And then, the other one is, did we pick a date for, to get together for that training with, Dr. Bob?
Oh, the work session?
Yeah.
No, we haven't picked a date yet.
I think, are we planning for August?
August.
So if we
First
could,
or second week
maybe
in
if we can,
August.
somebody can maybe head up an email or something to pick a date, so we all can get that in advance.
Yeah.
That way, a couple weeks notice. we
We
get-
want to do it
I just know I can't
during the
do,
week at night.
I just can't do it the second, I'll be gone the second, after the meeting, actually, the second week I can't do it in August. Other than that, I can do it.
I will talk with Dr. Bob and
Okay,
maybe let them get their feet wet a little bit before we throw a work session at them. So maybe it'll be the 3rd week in August.
okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mr. Spencer?
I know, I just wanted to support what Mr. Ansher said about graduation. I thought it was excellent, and that's why we're all here, to see those kids successful and get to that podium, graduate.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And there's a lot of our staff that's involved in that.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
one in particular who's retiring is Connie Davy. She does a wonderful job.
Mhm.
I mean, graduation always seems to run
And all-
flawlessly
And all those banquets.
in
and
all the
that.
banquets. And I mean, I know there's a lot of people involved, but we'll point out Connie since this is her last year, her last graduation. As far as myself goes, just let the public know a little bit. Our July meeting is going to be head up by our new superintendent, Dr. Bob Falkenstein. And I believe that John's probably going to be absent. I hope our new incoming treasurer can be present for that one. Her and Dr. Bob are going to start transitioning in starting July 1st. They're not going to be full-time at that point, since Denny and John are still our full-time superintendent and treasurer until August 1st. But our new superintendent treasurer will be transitioning in through the month of July. And as far as I know, both groups of people have coordinated and organized, and hopefully the transition goes really smooth. And I think it will. We're very optimistic of it. We're excited to start a new chapter at Gibsonburg. So that's all I got. Citizen input. At this time, any citizen of the district who signed in when arriving may request an opportunity to speak briefly. You may address the board for approximately 3 minutes on any topic concerning school matters or community interest. Once recognized by the presiding officer, please state your name and address and any group affiliation when appropriate. Concerns or complaints pertaining to district personnel shall follow proper chain of command. First on the list is Linda Bursick.
I'm Linda Bursick. My address is 6791 County Road 67, Gibsonburg, Ohio. I guess maybe I'm a little bit ahead of the thing here. I didn't know Mr. Monk and Mr. Coleman would be here next month, but I just wanted to thank you both for your service to our district. I substitute with bus, and I see you out there waving at us as we come in at the elementary, and I really appreciate that. And Mr. Coleman, we've kind of gone back and forth a little bit with stuff. I used to be on the committee with the support staff and stuff when we had negotiations. So, but, and then when I retired, I thought, okay, now is this how much money I'm getting or not, or whatever, you know, that's the story. But I want to thank you both so much for your service, and I hope things go well for you in the future, wherever, whatever they may be. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
Melissa Coe.
You know what? I didn't need to sign it. I apologize.
Okay.
But I'm Melissa Coe, 6724 County Road 67, Gibsonburg. I also want to echo, because Mr. Mott came in and did a great job, as well as I'm very thankful for the school resource officer continuing. I know it's been a long road, and I will help in any manner that I can, because I really think it's important, not just for safety, but for many various things. So I sent something to the board earlier, I don't know, maybe last month, that just some of my concerns that we really need to address, and going forward, I think we can really conquer that. So.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Emerson Coe.
Hi, my name is Emerson Coe, 6724 Penn Road 67. Hi, my name is Emerson Coe, and I'm going to be going into the 9th grade. I'm going to be reading a speech about my opinion on the dress code, and please hear me out. The first thing about the dress code is that it's very sexist. Boys can basically wear whatever they want, even out of school. Girls can't. Their dress code does not prohibit them from wearing anything except cut-off t-shirts. Girls have exactly 7 policies saying we can't dress how we want. But the boys are over here wearing pants that sag below their butt. Boys never get in trouble for breaking the dress code. They wear short shorts and don't get dress coded. Girls wear short shorts and we get dress coded. We are not a Catholic or a private school. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to wear rips in our jeans or short shorts. Next, they are also very inconsistent. Some girls can get away with wearing leggings and others can't. It's just not fair to us that we can't wear leggings and some girls do. I wore jeans that have rips for over half a year. In the spring, I got dress coded, and when I was in the 6th grade, I wore my favorite jeans all the time. It had a rip just a little bit above the knee. I wore those for after a half a year, and I got dress coded. That is very inconsistent. In the spring this year, about 20 girls were wearing running shorts. They didn't get dress coded. After 2 days, I decided to wear them because I wanted to see if I got dress coded. I did. And I was more upset because I got dress coded and went back to class, and all those other girls didn't get dress coded, and they were wearing the same exact shorts as me. They got dress coded because I went up to one of the staff and told them how unfair it was. They were probably not going to get dress coded because no one did anything until I went and told someone. Last, why does it even matter what we wear to go learn? If we go to school to learn, why are we getting judged on the way we dress? We are not objects. This is not a fashion show. We go to school thinking it is an amazing place, which it is, but why won't they let us dress how we want to? In the Constitution, it says we get freedom of expression. We should be able to express ourselves in the way we dress, but at Gibsonburg, we can't do that. If I also get dress coded, I do not want to be yelled at and cussed at by the administrator. I'm not saying we should scratch the dress code completely. I'm saying maybe rethink it and remember we are a public school and maybe think to make it less strict.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you, Emerson.
Appreciate that.
Your copy.
She has copies.
And it's a
That's right.
Okay, financial consent agenda.
Our treasurer recommends that the Board of Education approve the financial consent agenda items I-1 through I-5. Action by the Board of Education in adoption of the consent agenda means that this item is adopted as one single motion, unless a member of the board or treasurer requests that any such item be removed from the consent agenda and voted separately. Starting with the May's financial report. Year to date, at the end of May, revenue was $10,196,953. Year to date expenditures were $8,105,960. We closed May with 185 true cash days and a cash balance of $4,482,187. Fringe benefits were 80% of our expenditures, and revenue was 79% of revenue expended. I also added to in front of you, I wanted to just touch base on where we're going to end day after tomorrow in the fiscal year, barring a bill needs to get paid tomorrow or we get some sort of payment. We pretty much closed the books, except for what an emergency, I'll say. So I'm expecting year-to-date revenue to fall at $10,660,948,000. We're going to transfer out $600,000 to those funds that we set aside for capital expenditures, technology, and severance payments. So we expect total expenditures and transfers to land at $9,486,558.50 and end the year with a cash balance of $3,565,584.37. Moving on to appropriations, asking the board to approve the fiscal year 2022 final appropriations as presented. You see that all of them are bolded because I've updated them to match what we've actually spent instead of what was budgeted. So almost all of them have changed, but we're gonna end the year with total appropriation in all funds at $12,328,009.20. I'm asking the board to authorize the treasurer to make any and all necessary appropriation modifications and fund-to-fund transfers as required at the end of the year. And item C is to approve the fiscal year 2023 permanent appropriations as presented. Normally, I ask the board to approve temporary appropriations, but one of the fancy things in the new software is the ability to really dial these in. And so I'm asking the board this year to go ahead and set the permanent appropriations right now as we enter in the new fiscal year. Moving on to I3, transfers and advances. We need to transfer $716.07 to Title I. We need to transfer $1,775.61 to Title IIA and $27,028.99 to ESSER. These are all federal funds that we're waiting on reimbursement for, but the auditor doesn't like us to close things in the negative, so we're going to transfer money to them today and return them on Friday until we get the reimbursement. And then the transfers, as we discussed, $125,000 to the technology fund, $75,000 to the severance fund, and $400,000 to the 005 capital improvement fund. And we're earmarking $125,000 of that for the stadium improvement project. And then, as you know, the roof is under construction right now, and we have a meeting that's coming up to kick off our HVAC controls project. And then asking the board to approve the amended certificate of estimated resources. This is a document that I have to send on to the county auditor for her blessing. This is just basically saying we do this off and on. Throughout the year, I send this directly to the county auditor, but because it's year end and they can't approve it until after the end of the fiscal year, the Budget Commission for Sandusky County won't meet again until the second or third week of July. I'm asking the board to approve this. This is just stating the revenues that came in this year. And you'll see at the bottom of the page, our total revenue, including carryover from last year, was $18,394,275.07. That's all funds. That's not just general funds, that's all funds. And then I5 is certificate of transition. This is a document required by Ohio Revised Code. When a treasurer leaves and a new treasurer comes in, there's a list of things that we have to go through with the incoming one. And I'm just presenting that to the board for your approval. If you, the things that are listed on there are required by the state auditor. And I'm supposed to keep a copy, and Ann will have to keep a copy somewhere in case the auditor wants to test it. So I think that's it for me. So 2284 is to approve the financial consent agenda.
A motion.
Motion by Mr. Mendoza,
Second.
second by Mrs. Kratzer. Questions or discussion? You have the renewal for the income tax levy that is in November, be on a November ballot. Probably sooner than later, we're gonna try to start organizing citizens for better schools again. And so if anybody, keep that in the back of your mind, and if you're interested, please contact myself, any board member, our new incoming superintendent, Dr. Bob, or our new treasurer, Ann Arnold. So
You'll
there'll
see
definitely
that,
be more information.
Yeah. that resolution you'll see later in the agenda, but we are doing that a year in advance on purpose. That the current income tax doesn't expire till January 31st or December 31st, 2023. So the new one, will be on the ballot just about a year in advance of expiration.
Without you being here anymore, I still hope people show up, because I know a lot of them come just to hear you, Jeff.
I know.
So I hope they'll continue to show up after you're gone. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza,
Yes.
Ms. Whitmer,
Yes.
Mr. Damschroeder,
Yes.
Mrs. Kratzer.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0. Superintendent's consent agenda.
The superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda items J1 through J4. Action by the Board of Education and adoption of the consent agenda means that all items are adopted by one single motion unless a member of the board or the superintendent requests that any such items be removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately. Item J1, personnel, as listed.
It's quite a long list of personnel. Here.
Take a while to read all those. Item J2 is agreements. Approve the MOU with Family and Children First Council and dues for $1,000 as presented. Approve the fiscal year 2023 service contract with North Central Ohio ESC for $99,878.85 as presented, and I believe John had put that in your packet.
Yeah, that is for our sign language interpreter, and hearing services, vision services. And I got a little sticker shock when the ESC sent me this because it's quite a bit larger than it has been. And they informed me that it's due to over a 20% increase in their healthcare costs.
John, is it sign language and is it speech?
Sign language interpreter, speech, not speech, hearing and vision,
Not speech.
not speech.
Item J3 would be the cafeteria approved fiscal year 2023 breakfast lunch prices as presented. And item B, approved Nichols Bakery as a supplier of bread products and Toff's Dairy as a supplier of milk products to the Gibsonburg School District for the 22-23 school year. Item J4 is an inventory disposal. Approve the disposal of obsolete textbooks per list as presented. And item B, approve the disposal of obsolete technology supplies per list as presented.
Item 22-85, approve the consent agenda items. Motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Kratzer,
Second.
second by Mr. Schroeder. Questions or discussion?
Item J1, and I think I've asked this before. Mark White, 40 days, is that due because of the fair? His is longer. Is that right? This is-
Got several things he does in the summer. I think he's also got something he does over winter break or spring break.
Isn't that
He doesn't.
determined beyond the district?
He doesn't get a break.
Yeah, he doesn't really get a break.
Yeah, it's not just something we granted. I think there's some connection to the position.
The only other thing is J10, just with Brian Jackson being the athletic director. Super excited for him.
Yes.
He's gonna be great. I just hope that we can continue to support him and check on him, because obviously the counseling of our students is important as well. So just with Safe Haven, I know that's a really good balance right now, but just to keep supporting it.
Yes, and when I met with Dr. Bob prior to this, administrators met, and Brian will report here to the elementary from 8 to 10. It's normally 8 to 11, but it'd be 8 to 10. And since we have Safe Haven, they'll be here the remainder of the day. So he'll leave here and then go to the high school for his counseling and so forth.
And I understood you to say that the time Safe Haven is here is longer than it was previously. Is that
Yes,
correct? So, yeah.
A full year.
Sounds like, yeah.
Is
They'll also be here at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Is there any, I know that is being taken care of right now financially, but is there plans for that to continue to stay in place so that we don't have a
The discussion, I think that my impression anyway is Safe Haven is spending most of their time in this building. I mean, I know that they spend time in both, but I think that they're here a larger percentage of the time. So I really haven't talked to Sonia and Jay much about Safe Haven and the plans for the future, but my conversations with Emily and Miss Roby and Tabitha have been, they really, really need it just for next year. And I shouldn't say just for next year, but they really, really need it for next year. And I think that they want to assess it moving forward. So I think that there's probably a need for some of their services on an ongoing basis. We just have to figure out financially how we're going to pay for that. But definitely, as you brought up, next year is going to be paid for out at ESSER. So
yeah, just to continue to make sure that we're being proactive there.
I have heard nothing but positive about Safe Haven's impact.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I fully agree.
Yeah, I just want to make sure
I
that,
fully
like,
agree. Yeah,
we continue to talk about it, make sure we're covering it.
and I think even when you talk to them, their goal is to try to work themselves out of business, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think they've had that problem yet.
Also, I know she's not here, but Erin Wallman, just thanking her for her time at Gibsonburg. She was one of my favorites, so.
Roll call.
Mr. Mendoza,
Yes.
Ms. Whitmer,
Yes.
Mr. Schroeder,
Yes.
Mrs. Kratzer,
yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes. Item passes 5-0.
Item K is a non-consent agenda. Item A is a resolution proposing the levy of an annual tax for the school district purposes on the earned income of individuals residing in the school district and determining to proceed with submission of the said levy as presented.
Item 22-86, approve the non-consent agenda.
No motion.
Motion by Mr. Mendoza,
Second.
second by Ms. Whitmer. Questions or discussion? Already brought that up out of turn, so. Roll call?
Ms. Whitmer,
Yes.
Mr. Damschroeder,
Yes.
Mrs. Kratzer,
Yes,
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0. Item 22-87, approve adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Damschroeder,
so moved. Second.
second by Mrs. Kratzer. Roll call?
Mr. Damschroeder,
Yes.
Mrs. Kratzer,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza,
Yes.
Ms. Whitmer.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0, meeting adjourned at 7 o'clock sharp. It's just been really beneficial for the district.
That was a really good idea.
All the